Hi, I'm Gongxian. I'm also known as the opponent online, and I'll be bringing you two speedruns back to back. The first of these is East 3, Wanderers from East on the TurboGrafx 16, which is the third of four games released on the TurboGrafx. Let's begin. I'll start by showing the opening cutscene.
Think back to your worst nightmare. The feeling of dark isolation and helplessness. The feeling that an evil force controlled your destiny. Perhaps we can compare these emotions with the terror that enclosed the people of Kenai. Their peace had been shattered by the domination of an evil demon named Demonicus. His long arms of decimation swept over the lands and burned all life in an inferno of slaughter and destruction. Yet even the worst nightmares offer some hope for survival. Kanai's fortunes lay in this stunning warrior of indomitable strength. His bravery was renowned throughout the land, as he had once saved an entire world from similar destruction. But now his challenge was greater than ever before. The insurmountable ferocity of Demonicus was frightening even to our courageous hero. But a real man never shows his fear. And Adol was, in fact, a most gallant soul. He battled Demonicus with equal intensity in this horrific struggle to the death. The skies had darkened, and the earth shook as Demonicus applied his brutal force and displayed his savage rage. There were to be no prisoners in this holy war of good over evil. Demonicus unleashed his awesome size and strength against our hero, but Adol's cunning wit allowed him to avoid and eclipse all of the alien's fatal blows. There was more than just a miracle behind this savior of tormented lands. Who could fight such courageous battles and manage to pull victory from such impossible odds? Who was this strange raider of evil foes? His legend and the legend of this land are about to be retold. The adventure is in the spirit of the warrior, and the warrior is you. Go now, Adol, and seek out these dark forces that oppress and terrorize the innocent lives of Kenai.
There's two things that need to be mentioned here. The first is that narrator didn't get the memo. That person in the intro is not Adol, an unrelated warrior from the far past, actually. And the second is, East 3 was actually released on multiple platforms in North America. You may be familiar with either the Genesis or Super Nintendo versions. This one was also released in America and differs from those in several significant ways that make it my favorite for speedrunning, not least of which is the music. We're just playing PSG here in the town, but we'll get back to it soon enough. We're establishing the stakes here. So, Adol and Dogi have been traveling the land and they're returning to Dogi's hometown because he heard that they're undergoing some kind of strife, and we're going to do what we can to help. Also, Adol speaks multiple times here. He's best known as a silent protagonist, but this is one of the last games in which he has dialogue of his own. See also, you may also be familiar with the remake of this game, The Oath in Felghana, which is, to me, tied with this game in terms of the soundtrack. But I prefer the old style of gameplay for East games. This one is certainly the one I played more than any other, one of my favorites to be sure. And don't mind the scrolling, it is actually supposed to look like this. Keep in mind that this was ported from old Japanese computer games, and the jank inherent in this version will be put into perspective as long as you keep that in mind.
What do you think? Do you like my town?
Oh, excuse me.
Hey, why don't you look where you're going?
Say, aren't you Dogi?
Elena? I barely recognized you.
Dogi, you haven't changed a bit.
Very funny, Elena. Tell me, how's your brother, Chester?
I haven't seen him in the last few months. I'm sorry, but I'm in a hurry.
After so many years, we finally meet again, and now you've got to run? Adel, I'm going ahead to the inn. See you later.
Also forgot to mention this game has voice acting, and I'll do what I can to make sure it shines. So I'm just gonna go along here and go to the shops and collect a few things before I enter the first dungeon. So if you ever play in this game, first thing you'll do often is get a sword. And that's all I'm getting. There will be no armor in this speedrun, at least not yet. So you might have heard the advice to avoid getting hit if you want to get better at video games. For the speedrun, that is exactly what you're going to do for the beginning.
Monsters! They came out of nowhere. Mayor Grady is still trapped in the mine. Someone must rescue him. Who are you? Really? A miner called Harvey already went to look for Grady, but we haven't heard from him since he entered the mine.
That chime just means there's a new area available in the world map. So speaking of music, several points in this game where they composed full tracks on Redbook Audio, but you're not going to be able to hear a lot of it, like this track, which you've heard a lot in Oath and Felghana. And because this is a computer game, save scumming is not only welcomed, it's allowed. We'll be doing a lot of it. If I take even one hit, because I have no armor, I'm going to reload. I've taken one hit. Just gonna keep doing that. This is very common for speedruns. Saving and loading is very fast in this game. And to keep this marathon safe, I'm gonna be doing more saving than I normally do. Right here. My goal is to get 100 experience. One of the things I like about this version compared to the others is that the first level up is only at 100 experience as opposed to 300. Experience curve is a lot gentler here. Even though I'm taking a lot of hits, it's still preferable to the alternative. But the main reason I didn't buy any armor is because I need the gold for later. I would normally have 0 gold if I bought the recommended shield and armor. And I just came in with nothing. So once I get to 100 experience, I'll be fine. That's how I get to level 2 in this version. Okay. Hold still, will you? Trying to avoid the death animation, it's long. Alright, you might also have heard that this is the game in which Adel becomes a buzzsaw, where you just hold down the button and he swings for as long as you have the button held down. I'm not even using turbo fire. This is the rare TurboGrafx game where auto fire will not benefit you, so you don't need to touch the switches at all. Let's see, I'm gonna do I think I can do some grinding on this screen. I don't want to move forward until I get 100 experience and I level up. It'll be fine, I'm 99, I'll kill something on the way down. There are no iframes in this game at all. Not for you, and especially not for the enemies. And that's going to become crucial for the boss strategies. Another one of my favorite things about this game, I've collected the power ring. Simple effect, it doubles all damage. Absolutely essential for every boss fight in the game. So you're doing these short hops and you control your spacing right, you can just kill enemies before they have a chance to hit back. Now I don't think I need to do that much more grinding because the next level up is at 300 experience. Also, after you load, there's about 2 seconds where no collisions happen. Oh dude. Let's see if I can take advantage of that if I get into a bad situation. And the music is looped, which means I haven't died at all. I normally do at least once. I'll get 100 more experience on the way back. And then game has to load here. Now these green slugs are, for whatever reason, surprisingly dangerous. I can die in a single touch from them, so I save before I engage. And I am gonna need to. They may randomly hop and just ruin my plans. Look like this thing. Broy's Pendant will become important later. More voice acting.
Who are you? Get out of here immediately!
What's going on here? Where's Grady?
Move! Ow!
I'll be okay. Who was that guy? Mayor Grady is still in there somewhere. I tried to find him, but the mine is too big. Take this key to the storehouse, where you will find a hidden sword. Hurry! Only you can help the mayor.
So I've been given the key to the first boss, and for reasons that defy all logic, this jobber will not let you go downstairs until you get this sword. I cannot advance at all until I kill the boss. That's how they decided to gate the progress there. So I got the item, did the cutscene. I need to save again just to be sure. Okay. I'm gonna have to come back one more time, so I'm not free of those things just yet. I'll get 300 experience very soon though. And after a load screen, save again, so I don't have to go through two of them if something should go wrong. Now I'm ready for the first boss. I took a hit, that's okay. So now I don't take 6 damage, I only took 4. Catch him in the ankles unawares like that. Wait for him. Okay. Now we'll put the power ring on. Face the first boss. The game auto-saves every time you enter a boss chamber. And for this, you just hope he falls into where you are and just stab until when you dies. You don't have to pay too much attention to the obstacles. No invincibility whatsoever. Not for you or not for any of the bosses. There's the sword, it was just stuck to the ceiling. Now I gotta take the power ring off and make sure the sword is equipped. Sometimes I forget. Okay, and then we'll save again. No concern at all that I'm taking this much damage. Matter of fact, just munch on my harb. The Genesis version, for whatever reason, it calls the healing herb the harb with an A. So any kind of healing item in any game, I call it harb, because I think that's funny. I need 1,200 gold before I leave, and shouldn't have too much trouble getting that. There's not too many numbers you need to keep track of for the speed run. In fact, I think I'll get it right before I enter the next boss chamber. This port was developed by Alpha System, published by Hudson Soft. I think Alpha System's most famous work would be the Shikigami no Shiro games. But they also developed the port of East Book 1 and 2, also on TurboGrafx CD. So I think, no, that guy is... Well, he's on his feet now, so I'm allowed to go in. I'd like just once to be able to fall down this shaft without touching the floor. I've only managed one half of that. I didn't do it this time. I need 60 more gold because I used the harb. But I need another one. So I'm gonna grind on these things, but you need to save here because these things are falling from the ceiling, but they might be obscured by the support posts. And I took a hit. That won't do. These things are still frightening even at my current level. Not the normal way I do this. What, it don't work out? Oh. Maybe I shouldn't have used my harp early. Come on. If there's an enemy limit, I don't know what it is. You know what, I'll just save right now. I'm not as familiar with the Cassiopeia as I should be. Okay, it's a couple more. Okay, these things don't spawn infinitely, I'll just come back. No, the gate's right here. I need 20 more gold. Watch out. Okay. Careful now. Exactly 1200, okay. We can finally proceed to my favorite boss in the game. Let's see, power ring on. Don't blink. That's far more cycles than it normally takes me. I don't know what happened there. Thing is, I need exactly... Oh, I only need 100 over. Oh, actually, 100 over, and that's fine.
Grady, from now on, you'd better mind your own business. You don't understand the power you're dealing with. It will destroy everybody, not just us, but you too. Think, man. Are you still here? I thought I told you to leave. How many times do I have to repeat myself?
Look at his walk here.
You are brave to oppose me, boy. This time, I'll let you go. But if you ever get in my way again, I will have no choice but to kill you.
You see how he popped off the floor a little like that?
Good job, young'un.
So Adol is still beholden to the limits of the engine, but no one else is.
I'm sorry that you're in danger because of me. Let's leave this pit, my boy. Ah, my leg. Could you help me walk?
And we get the courtesy of being escorted out after the boss.
Harvey, what will we do if the mine has been destroyed?
Oh, Mayor Grady. I don't know. Your name is Jason. Thank you for saving the mayor. Go now. The villagers must be told that he is safe.
Normally you take the ring off, but I'm not too concerned about conserving it because I can get a full refill at the shop anytime I want. So to save menuing time, I'm gonna just wear it out. Well, we have business with Dogi, but first I need to go into the equipment shop. For the second and last time in this run, I'm gonna get the chainmail. Finally have some real protection, and we're never gonna visit him again. And then we go back in here, get a full charge of ring power, get the healing harb, take these things off, and we have to make one visit to the old woman's house and collect an important item. No CD audio here because a lot of loading takes place here. Let's finally learn our quest.
Adel, you came just in time. There's something I'd like you to do. But first, Elena, could you tell us your story again?
I'm afraid to tell this to someone I've just met. But if you trust him... This is about my brother, Chester. It has been half a year since he left Serena. It looks like he's working for King Maguire. I've heard bad rumors about Chester. They say he's been around Volcano Ruins. I found my brother's pendant near the entrance, so I know he's been there.
This might not have anything to do with Elena's story, but a priest named Pierre went to Volcano Ruins yesterday and hasn't returned. Adel, I'd like you to go to the ruins and look for Pierre. I'm concerned about the safety of the village. If you see Chester, tell him that his sister Elena is very worried.
Oh, I've forgotten to introduce myself. I'm Elena Studart. It's nice to meet you, Adolf, but I'm sorry to burden you with my problems.
You can just hold up at a door, or up and left or right, and you'll enter it at the first possible frame. So I need to go to a new dungeon now. I'm 10 points behind the level up, so this might be a brief moment of danger as I enter Volcano Ruins. All the voice actors are credited. I think one of them went on to do later games. I don't remember the details for that though. There's music in the world map screen. We won't hear more than 1 second of it. Okay, first thing I need to do is save here. Put on the shield ring very first thing, because some of these screens are just unfair. Can I kill him in one? Okay. There, I took a hit already. Just memorize where they're gonna be. Hop over them. Shield pointed downward, and I took another hit. Probably fine. Okay, I took the shield ring off now. Save again. Save here. This dub cannot make up its mind on how Adolf's name is pronounced. Short hop over all of these whipmen. You'll get them all. And don't mind the birds, they're probably not going to get you. I hopped a little too much, that's okay. So for much of the rest of the game, I won't need to worry about doing any more grinding. I'm just gonna go through the stages as fast as I can. Check out this action. That guy never sees that coming. I need to save here. These insects are really dangerous. I don't know why. I'm gonna get rid of them first. See, I took a hit. I don't want to do that. Especially since I need as much life as I can save for the next section. So I want to kill them. I don't want to leave them be. Okay. And before I entered this room, I might actually take damage the moment I set foot in that room. So I put the shield ring on first thing. Especially those things rolling around the floor, they'll jump up if you take to the air. Level up again. Now, I might take damage in the very first frame. I did. You might actually die before you can see what's in here. Kill these things. Take out that. Use my harb right away. Now walk up, but don't keep holding up or that guy will step on your head. Okay, now we can move forward. More cutscene.
Brother Pierre, you must tell me what you want here.
I seem to have lost my way.
No need to lie, good brother. You're looking for the statue, aren't you? What the? I think I heard someone up there. You! You were the swordsman I saw in the Tigray mine. Didn't I warn you not to show your face around here?
You! Come with us!
Adol will never swing his sword against a human, I guess. He's the line of the game.
Molten lava is flowing down there. No man has ever returned alive. How do you know my name?
Is he bragging about that or describing it?
So you have talked with Elena. Well, it's my life. What I do has nothing to do with you or Elena. Now, goodbye forever.
Would have been so funny if you could take damage from that. Now this screen might be a little hard to watch because there's no This background doesn't scroll at all. So, no way out of here. We just have to make it past the lava pit best we can with the life we have. Shield the ring is still turned on. Carefully move through here. Patterns are intimidating, but it shouldn't take too much trouble to learn it. Now I'm out. And because you have no access to the town, you get free harb here as much as you want. I already used mine, so I'm going to collect it. Should have enough ring power for the next segment, I think. Save here. I'm actually keep it on for this part. I don't need to do any grinding, so I'm only doing that to clear the way. Is that enough life? Yeah, it might be. We just have to take it off here. I forgot to put the shield on. That happens sometimes. Let's outrun the fireballs here. And just try your best to guess where the floor is when the spray limit gets hit. Okay, next boss. Save power ring, just to be sure. Something happened just now. That's all you have to do, just stand there and hope you have at least 23 life. My armor stat isn't even that good. Okay, then we turn to shield the ring back on, because now we have to do, we have to outrun the fireball in reverse. If you get good RNG, these things will never touch you. It touched me. Oh well. It's because I missed the jump. There's free harb waiting for me on the other side, so shouldn't need this anymore. Conserve ring power just for the heck of it. Kind of low, so we'll munch on the harb right now. Get another one. He hasn't escaped yet. Give it a second. Can take a few hits because the next boss has a very easy pattern if you can get it just right. If you do it right, you won't take any damage, but just to be sure, so I have messed it up before. And I leveled up too. I believe in the Genesis version, there's a way to glitch yourself past this screen and skip the previous boss, but nothing like that in this version. If you touch the lava, you'll just die instantly. It's long enough to prevent that kind of glitch in this version. It's more loading. Okay, this would be a good time to read donations. I just need to climb to the top here.
Okay, we do not currently have a donation, but just as a reminder, we are raising money for charity. This is a great cause here. If anyone did wanted to donate, !donate in the chat. Or if you're actually here, you can also just scan the QR code. Once again, for Child's Play charity.
There's one more jump at the end I hope I can make. One more screen here, and then the next cutscene in the scene after. Can I make this jump? I did. Okay.
have sworn I heard someone. Chester, what's going on? It's nothing. But I thought I heard someone. It must have been my imagination. Well, be more careful. Tell me, Chester, what will you do about Brother Pierre? He seems to be on to us. So I'm going to lock him up in the dungeon of Valestein Castle.
Mr. Merlin,
Yes?
the fire dragon Girin has been slain.
What? I'll be there immediately. Chester, I don't see how that little boy can give you such a hard time. I'm very sorry.
See how much taller Chester is compared to that door? How does he get in there? Also, how did Elena get here?
It seems like they've gone. I don't know, but it gives me the creeps. Hey, what's that in the dark? It could be some kind of mechanism.
I don't think there's an item needed to open that.
I think this is the way to find the statue. I remember a story my brother used to tell me. He would talk of a flying monster that lived in Alcano ruins. A monster that guarded a magical statue. Why? I am the one who brought you here. I can't let you face this danger alone. Thank you. All right, but... Adolf, be careful.
The question of how Elena got here at all, presumably under her own power, is never answered. Anyway, the next boss is coming up. Boss has a very patternable behavior. I just have to get my spacing exactly right, and I'll get it in one try. The boss will reposition itself depending on your own position after its attacks. Right here. Right where I want him. Poke him in the chest until he dies. It'll take about 4 cycles if I get this right. I slipped there. If I had more life, I could have done that earlier. Like, oh, I slipped the positioning there. It's fine. If I had more life, I could have jumped into him in the last cycle and saved a few frames. I want to speedrun the PC-88 version, just for completeness sake, because it's the most similar to this one, I think. It's also my understanding that version has difficulty selection, a little hard to access though, but I don't know what it changes. Yeah, I got the statue. Elena is not here, right? Oh.
I'm surprised you've come back alive. I guess I underestimated you. It looks like I'll have to deal with you personally.
Looks like we're gonna have to fight. But no, this is...
Chester, no!
Elena, what are you doing here?
I asked Adel to stop you from doing any more harm. Please, stop! Why are those statues so important to you?
It's my duty. I must get revenge. Surely you remember what happened that day? Adolf, just leave me alone. I don't want to fight.
So now we learn he has some motivation for collecting these statues and opposing me, but we don't know what it is yet.
Let's go back to the village, Adel.
Also, she directly disobeyed our request to go back home. That's for our forgiveness, and then she just leaves again without saying where she's going.
Adolf, am I glad to see you? climb Mount Seco. I seek my old spiritual master who lives there. I could be gone a long time. Adolf, Mayor Grady gave me a message for you. He must see you. It's urgent. His house is beside the inn.
So, all of our companions are gone for weird reasons. Our next quest is audience with the mayor. And get these things again. I already have a harp, so next I need to get the amulet. I'll explain what it is in good time. Take this thing off. Oh, no. Okay. You wanted to see me, sir?
Adol, my boy, I'm glad you have come. Look what has happened, young'un. Someone broke in while I was gone. They sure made a mess of my home, but nothing is missing. I think they were thugs from Valestein Castle. They are after the statue you found in Tigray Mine, my boy, and for some reason they thought I had it. If the statue has something to do with all the creatures that have been roaming around lately, then you will be in danger. But we still need your help. You are a great swordsman, and I will put the trust of the entire town in you. What do you say, young'un? Are you game?
There's a yes-no loop here. Only here. If you say no, you get asked again.
That's the spirit, Adol, my boy. Here's the first thing I would like you to do. You remember the locked door you found in the mine? Well, it stays locked, because beyond it are pits with many fierce monsters. I've heard old stories about that place, and they say another statue rests somewhere inside. I've already sent a party of miners there, my boy, and I would like you to join them in a search for the magic statue. Here, take this with you, young'un. I hope you will find it useful.
We will not find the timer ring useful. It's not used at all in this version. Supposedly it halves the speed of all monsters on screen, but with the way the monsters move, you'll barely notice it at all. I'm sure it's of more use in other versions though, but I'm not as familiar with them as I should be. So we're gonna go back to the first dungeon into a door we couldn't access the first time. It's the only backtracking we need to do. So we have nothing to fear from the monsters unlike the beginning of the game. I'm gonna not even engage with them, but I'll still have the buzzsaw turned on because it feels wrong not to. I take only 1 damage from everything in these first few screens. You can read donations again, there's not much else to say until I enter the next area.
All right, we do have a donation for $50 from And Labs. No message, but $50 donation from And Labs. Thank you so much for that.
And right now we're in the other part of the ruins now. For some reason it was just locked. And the monsters here are far more fearsome than the other parts of the ruins. Let's save here. I'm gonna try avoiding touching those plants anytime I can because even at my current stats they do way too much damage. Poke those guys before they have a chance to attack. I can't even get them in one reliably. Also, this music is unnecessarily stressful, isn't it? There's that crystal the shopkeeper was telling us about. We'll turn it in once we're able to visit her again. This guy respawned. Okay, we'll just go in the cellar here. Lots of plant life down here we need to save. I might have to reload at least once here. Okay. Avoid that. I actually made it in one try. I don't always do that. We'll come around to those three later. They're just staring at a box they can't open themselves. I almost forgot. Some real protection. Better than what they sell in the shop. Don't tell them that though, they won't take it well. But the amulet will do damage to every enemy on screen, which you're gonna need for the worst boss in the game coming up. And there's only one way to make this jump. Stand in that exact spot, take a leap of faith. You cannot land on that platform any other way. So there's a flashing screen warning I have to issue here, because I'm gonna turn on the amulet right away. It's gonna flash the screen 3 times. I'll just use all 3 charges at once. And I'm gonna have to do it 3 more times in this run. Oops, too early. Okay, I just have to do another cycle. Here's the worst boss in the game. Try to describe its design. Just gotta poke this. Then gotta wait. If I touch that orange orb, I'll be teleported to the position of the blue orb. This is just a bunch of stuff. It's like the Contra wall, except even more tedious. We just gotta wait until one of us falls. There's no quick kill you can do here, so the speedrun just kind of grinds to a halt. Do we have any more donations in the meantime?
We do not currently have any donations, but once again, exclamation mark donate in the chat or the QR code if you are here if you'd like to donate. Thank you very much.
Okay. You might actually hear the entire boss theme here if you don't get your cycles right. You might be even be startled by it, as it really is a guitar solo in this song. Let's see if we get to hear any of it. Okay, I got it. Right on time too. That's by far the worst boss in the game, so not to say the rest of the game is gonna go smoothly. That one's just not speedrun friendly. And unlike every other boss, it doesn't even give us the courtesy of an easy way out. Now we have to backtrack by ourselves. Who do they think we are? Okay, so just quickly make our way back, because even though I have the shield ring on, I still need to be cautious. These plants will eat you alive if you let them. Let's see here. Remember what I said about these 3 dudes? I lied, we're never going down there. Now whatever item is in that box is just something related to the game's lore. I don't even remember what's in there. It's been so long since I last opened it. Those guys will just be in there forever. Because no one gave them the call that they can come back home. Get harp just to be sure. You should hear the PC-88 version of this song. They go even more in on the synths. But my favorite song with synths is the very end. The final dungeon theme. It'll be a while before we can hear that though. I don't know why they make you walk back here. Is it because we have no companions? Okay, now we're finally out. I'm 1 point away from the next level. How did that happen? Let's get out. Now we get the escort. 3 out of 4 statues. Sure hope nothing fun happened while I was out. Gotta get a bunch of stuff from the shop now. She can make bro shot serum now. I'm gonna get everything they have. Almost everything. I need to get the mirror. The amulet. The necklace costs 50,000 gold. It allows 1 revive at 0 life. it's not worth to grind, I think. Hey, I got that thing you asked for.
Grady,
Oh.
you must join forces with us. Everything will be ours once we make him return. Because I am a kind man, I will include you. I promise you that if you give us the statue, half of the world will be your kingdom. Doesn't that tempt you?
You must be kidding. Listen to yourself, man. And you call yourself a king?
Too bad, Grady. I was sure you could be a powerful leader. But now you dare to oppose me. We will have the statue. If you refuse to cooperate, your villagers will be held responsible. Clear out of my way!
People are so rude here. What if you took damage from that?
Well now, that was King Maguire of Valestine Castle, my boy. The king himself has finally come to threaten me. I'd better tell you everything, Adel. This is becoming very serious. Listen carefully. An evil being called Demanicus once dominated this land. He was locked away by a brave warrior. Now, King Maguire is trying to unleash Demanicus and use his evil power to conquer neighboring lands. You possess 3 of the 4 statues once used to put Demanicus away. King Maguire worried that you will find the 4th statue and banish Demanicus once again. To the north on Mount Secco lives an old hermit. He knows many legends and maybe more about the statues. I'm sorry to get you involved in this, my boy, but with this injured leg, well, you see how it is. Take this letter to the hermit. He may help you. Good luck, young Adel.
If you're familiar with the SNES or Genesis versions, you might have noticed a lot of names were changed. I don't know why. Here. He's not Galaplan anymore, now he's Demanicus. This isn't Redmond, it's Serena. They also made a few name changes in East Book 1 and 2 on TurboGrafx 16, but they all came back to the original names. So we're friends with Doge, not Colin, for example. And we gotta climb the mountain. You have to use the mirror, which freezes all enemies in place. What did the king want with a lowly mayor? He's gonna give some small-time mayor half the world for some reason. You think he was gonna uphold that promise? Power ring here, so I can kill these things in one hit. It's one of the few times I'll use the power ring outside of a boss. Also a pretty good song. This one, just good because I'm gonna do some grinding here. Now, next, shield ring on. Really scary RNG in here. I'm gonna use the shield ring and the mirror to freeze all the enemies in place and hope none of them spawns underneath me just like that. The mirror only works for a few seconds. And you get 3 charges, just like the amulet. Hope I don't die. So I need to hold on to my harp. I didn't die. Okay. Take this off. The mirror has served its purpose. Yeah, made it up to the hermit.
Adel, how did you get here?
Dogi, is this your companion Adel? It is fate that we meet now. Come in, my children. We must ponder the future.
Sounds kind of familiar, doesn't he?
I see. Those from Valestine Castle are seeking the ancient statues. I know one of the statues is hidden here in the caverns of Mount Secco. Legend says it is protected by a powerful force. It is said that the beast which dwells atop these mountains holds powerful magic, a talisman to help enter the cavern. Adel, my child, you are unprepared. Carry this sword with you into battle.
He just has an even better sword than I can get in store. We're not gonna ask what he's doing with it. You also get a free heal in here. No questions asked. Which is important because now I need to grind to 19,300 experience, which will be just enough to get to the next level. I need to grind 2 more levels at 20,000. First thing I'll do, put the sword on, shield ring on, and I'm gonna do a lot of saving because it's gonna hurt if I accidentally die in here. We're just gonna grind on these 3 enemies in this gate over and over until I'm at 19,300. This would be the best possible time to read donations, by the way. We're gonna be here for a few minutes.
Alright, we do have another donation. We have $25 coming from Polly saying, thanks for this Ys 3 run. Happy MAGFest, everyone. Thank you, Polly.
Alright, for those joining us, MAGFest benefits Child's Play, a 501c3 organization that delivers consoles, toys, and games and other entertainment to a network of children's hospitals worldwide. Donations are tax deductible in the USA. You can type !donate to get a link to donate, or if you're at MAGFest, you can find the QR codes around the place. 13,000, okay. This is by far the fastest way known to grind. When I played this game for the first time, you might have seen that flying insect on the way there. It'll just drop offspring infinitely. Stand right under it and poke upward for about 10 minutes or so, and you can get to maximum level. And that's exactly what I did when I played this for the first time. You still don't need any turbo fire. Okay. Get here. Not worried about conserving ring power. You get 1 ring power for every enemy killed. Any moment now. I see someone in the chat mentioning 3:30 p.m. Maybe 3.5 hours, if you're assuming you mean 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm running a little bit low on life too. I'm almost there though. Hope I don't get too greedy. Okay, now I'm gonna burn back and get a heal. I always have to do this at least once. It'd be devastating if you forget to. Two and a half hours? You're right, I'm reading the clock wrong. Almost there, 19,300 though. I have to be careful not to overdo it for the purpose of this speed run. 2 more cycles should do this. Okay, we're ready. That didn't take too long. Don't need to use that right away. MAGFest is based in National Harbor, Maryland, USA. We'll come back to that thing shortly. Don't have anything to fear from these things now, but better safe than sorry. Especially since I need to kill every single one to get to the next level. That's why I'm carefully tuning my grinding to make sure I don't have to stay at any screen for too long. Hopefully I won't need to... Okay. Let's see if I can make do with this much life. Similar to that one dragon boss, just hope you can get the boss in the correct position. Move away if you can't. I don't know what its patterns are. I might actually die. Okay, that's fine. This is luck as to whether you can get it in one try or not. That's the first game over, I think. Who's gonna fall first? It's me. Fine, I'll use the harb. Actually, no, I shouldn't. I need it later. Yeah, I did take too much damage in the way in. That's fine. I'll just use the harb. Actually, no, I won't. I'll just deal with it. If not, I'll just reload a save state. Come back. Oh, it turns around. Okay, I'll just reload and be more careful on the way in. It's clearly not working. I have to make this safer than I'm doing it. I should have just used the shielded ring on the way in. Okay, we're ready again. Better chances than before. I'm being too reckless. Need to control my movements better. It's the best technique I've found is just stay there and hope she stays in place. This is clearly not turning out the way I want it to. I don't know why she's not taking a lot of damage here. I took a hit from something. Can't even reach her above. Just in time. Not a moment to lose. I don't normally have that much trouble on this boss. Normally it acts the way I expect it to. And we got another bespoke key to open up that statue we saw earlier. Gotta conserve ring power now. But I need the harb for the next boss. I keep thinking to myself, maybe I should use it, but no, I know what happens when I don't have harb for the holder of the last statue. You only get one. You only need one. You don't need to engage in these things anymore. There's no more grinding for the rest of the game. You have to go through another cave of randomly spawning enemies before the boss. It's one of those insects they can be used for grinding the slow way. Okay, hope those things don't hit me in the way in. There's the amulet and save. Another flashing warning. And the boss music is different here because this is serious now. So the tech is just running back and forth. Wait, did I put the right ring on? I did. Not doing as much damage as I normally do. Just be careful of its tail, it'll kill instantly. This is my kind of boss fight. It's almost like bump combat if you think about it. I missed the bump combat of the earlier games. The newer ones have seen fit to introduce buttons, and I can't really get into them as easily. I would like to run East 4, the Dawn of East on TurboGrafx CD, but even in New Game Plus, that's around 4 hours. Take 3 steps, cutscene.
Hold it! Don't move! Oh again. Give me those statues.
He's not trying to kill us this time, at least. What's the scrolling here? I don't understand.
We are victims of the curse of Demonicus. Now we are trapped down here together.
Good, he says. Not at all concerned that he might die down here.
I'll tell you. A year ago, everyone in my village died. Murdered by that king. Right before my eyes, my friends, neighbors, and parents were butchered, one after another. My sister Elena and I were the only survivors. I started working at Valestein Castle. I was planning to avenge my people when I discovered the plans to re-invoke the curse of Demonicus. King McGuire underestimates the power of the curse. It can destroy Valestein Castle itself. And when it does, I will have my revenge. They will be destroyed by their own ambitions.
I kind of like that method, actually. Let them destroy themselves. You don't need to get directly involved. But it's still not a good plan, and we'll see why by the end.
Did you hear something?
Stogie the Crusher to the rescue.
Adel, I've come to rescue you. Chester, is that really you? It's me, Dogie.
Dogie?
Chester, you've changed. 10 years ago, you were a man with many dreams. You used to tell me how you were going to make the land of Kenai the greatest in the world. And now look at you. I want you to stop working for King McGuire and Valestein Castle, Chester. Then maybe things will be like they used to be between us.
Dogie, forgive me.
It's the only time these two childhood friends have met in this game. They kept them separate for so long.
Master, thank you for everything.
Be at peace, Dogie. Remember me and return when you are in these lands.
Well, Adel, we must leave these cursed mountains.
I would suggest not calling the place that where your master lives, cursed. That's only me, though. Right in his face, too. I mean, they may be the mounts of evil, but still.
Jedi, what happened?
The town was attacked. All the villagers have been taken hostage. They're being held in Valestein Castle.
What? Adel, only you can help them. Go, rescue the villagers. But take this ring with you. It is a parting gift from our master.
And this one will become important if I don't do everything perfectly. You can notice parts of the wall are chipped there. And that guy's still there. How do you escape? You can do a little more shopping. Didn't use the serum, but I'm gonna later. So I might have said earlier that the beginning of the game is the second hardest part in the game. This section, all of Valestein Castle, is the actual hardest part. 4 bosses in a giant dungeon. And no way to quickly escape if you need to go back and get more provisions. So you basically have to make one hard blast for the entire castle. I'm gonna do what I can. They do give you some reprieve by giving you the healing ring, but that costs a lot of ring power. You're here again. She has this habit of showing up she doesn't belong. Here's the best song in the game. So I'm gonna do a lot of save scumming here. If I take even one hit from these things, I'm reloading because I need as much life as possible for the boss coming up. Don't engage with any of these things. They do a lot of damage at my current level. Don't worry about these plants. They look scarier than they really are. Also, these knights are extremely dangerous. Get past that. These Silver Knights especially are probably the most annoying enemies in the game. They're vulnerable for only very brief periods. I'm gonna be careful scrolling the screen here because they become active when they're on screen. Save on every screen. Feels like I get lucky every time I manage to do damage on those things. And I can't even use any rings because I need them for later. Watch out for those. So I'm not going to be talking too much, I need to focus. Don't forget to save, because any one of these screens can be your doom. Trying to get any of these enemies off the screen if I can, because they stop moving until they come back. I have to fight them if I miss. Needless to say, contacting those spikes is not advised. Well, Falcom decided the third game in their series they wanted to do something different. For better or worse, they did. Watch out for those dudes. Okay, we're out of the first part there. We're gonna get a better shield in a few screens' time. I got my timing there wrong. It's kind of strange that they mentioned that because money is irrelevant at this point in the game. Unless you're trying to get the necklace. Try to get him away from here. Looked out there, the music looped. Just in time because this is a loading screen. So always save here, 3 dudes. You can short hop over the green dudes, but not the gold one. He's off screen, I don't gotta worry about him now. Stay here so you don't get your head stepped on. Hop over this guy. Finally, we have an actual shield worth holding on to. The best armor in the game is all over the castle. Put that on right away. Now this boss coming up, very peculiar pattern that if you don't use it, you're not going to have a fun time with it. This is the one thing I practice more than anything else in this game. Okay, see if I can get it in one. That would be one of my goals for this run. I mean, now I actually put my ring on. See if I can get this exactly right. Oh. Took the hit. I have to do this exactly like this in order to get optimal damage. You have to keep spacing yourself. I got it in 1. I consider this run a success. Compared to that, everything else will be relatively smooth. I need to get that to pass by a locked door that we didn't see yet. Take this up, we need to conserve ring power. Oh, for that, here we're on. Use the mirror just to stop that guy, because I don't like him. I don't want him chasing me down here. Now we can move forward. Wait for them to leave the screen. I didn't wait long enough, but that's okay. Now we can move forward. Okay. that was a fork in the road there. We can take the other way now. If you were to touch this barrier at any point before, you'll just melt instantly. They have a lot of unique barriers and items that have only a single use. It's a lot of effort put into a game like this, actually. Not a lot of games did that in 1989. It's the best armor in the game, and unlike Volcano Ruins, there's nothing guarding it. Whoever was supposed to protect the thing was on break. Actually, remember to put that on. I'm gonna need the amulet next. Make some progress before I save. The next boss is also kind of tedious. It's another loop I need to do. Which is why I'm gonna use the amulet. The screen's gonna flash again, by the way. I took a hit. It's okay. The gold soldiers are no longer much of a threat, as you saw from that hit. Powering on. And use the amulet immediately to make this boss a little bit shorter. Just do that. Let it hop over you, poke upward, short hop over it, and jump in the fire. Just do that until you win. And be careful, because take too many steps to the left, you'll exit the boss. Which you could do in the previous games, but if you... like those games, if you should do that, the boss will come back with full health when you re-enter. I did that by mistake in one of my practices, and I was very upset with myself. I don't know the exact way to get this optimal, but this is what I saw other speedruns do. And make sure to mind my ring power, because I need some for later. But I have the Broshas serum, but it does not refill you to full. It only refills a random amount of ring power 3 times. I don't know why they did it like that. Considering it costs a lot more than the full restore you can get in the shop. Okay. The rest of the castle is, by comparison, a lot simpler. This is the worst of it's behind us now. No prize for finishing that. It's so dissatisfying. And here's the really mysterious cutscene that's just really weird. Just let the image here sink in.
Adol, look out! I was so worried about you. I know you told me to wait, but I had to come for you. This man was going to attack you.
So you are Adol. I've heard of the troubles you gave Chester. I see. But who needs King McGuire? Step back!
This is really weird music. It just feels out of place. Also, Christianity appears to exist in this world. Unless they crucified somebody else? They don't really clarify. I don't know what this music's supposed to be. It's not the pipe organ, and what exactly is happening here isn't explained either. Or why it takes so long to open this door.
Adol, let's follow him.
Why are you in here again?
Maybe you're right. It's too easy.
Adol's just not asking any questions of what abilities she has that gets her through all of those monsters that he could barely kill himself without speedrun tech. Save here. Still need to be careful though. These things are still doing more damage than I would like to take. Okay, oh wait, no it doesn't, never mind. Okay. Still don't gotta worry about these things. They're even less intimidating now. This is one of my favorite dialogue in the game I never skip even in speedruns. Help us! We are in jail! The most obvious statement. That made me laugh so hard when I first saw it. I don't really have an explanation for that. It isn't my third favorite boss in the game, because it has basically no strategy. Another race to the bottom. Just keep doing this. And just do this before you get pushed to the wall. That's what I love about this game. The bosses are so fast. At least the ones that let you go fast. Even without speedrun check, you're probably gonna end up doing that anyway. And I got the key. I ended up not using the harb. That was the third of 4 bosses. I'm being a little too cautious. But I tap up here. And then this guy will give you the last key. By the way, remember Roy, who had that pendant? That's him on the left. We can talk to him for a little more lore, but we don't need to. Also, that priest man who was arrested earlier. By the way, I haven't been talking too much about this game's lore, but instead, I'll just say to look up the manual for the, I think the MSX version of this game. It's on the Internet Archive. It has a ton of artwork and lots of illustrations for every important thing in the game. Isn't another good song. We have to not touch these gold soldiers though, because I don't have what it takes to do anything to them. They also do a ton of damage, but that goes without saying. It's one of the more annoying parts in the game, the clock tower, is this tradition for video games, but I always seem to forget that. I'm taking damage, that's fine, I have a harb. And the last ring, the protect ring. Full invincibility at an enormous cost to your ring power. We're gonna use that once later on. Get all these jumps right. No Medusas or anything, just some jumps that are hard to time. Okay. Don't get sniped. And the last sword in the game too. I think you can still get some computer version on Japanese reseller sites for really cheap because they made a lot of copies of this game. Here's a difficult jump. Let's see if I can get it exactly right. Just take some hits, it's fine. Get the timing right. I got it, okay. Because if you missed that, you're gonna have to try again over and over until you get it. I'm gonna put the healer ring on just for safety. Now I can actually fight these things. One ring power for 1 HP. And I'm running out, but that's fine. I have Broshal Serum. Okay, and then we just climb to the top. And I also get 1 ring power for every enemy killed, so I get 1 HP per kill. Because you don't restore HP any other way, except to be outside, as in at the world map. Not like other Ys games where you can restore HP any outdoor section. I got the jump, I don't believe this. Okay, I need ring power for this, so I'm gonna drink up the Broshal Serum. 139 out of that, that's an average amount. Semi-official Source Syrian scenario called Wanderers from Super Scheme? I have never heard of that. Power ring on.
Germanicus lives again! This human form is no longer necessary. If I get the statues, I'll have absolutely nothing to fear.
It's one of those monsters who likes the sound of his own voice. Another difference from this game compared to the other console versions is that I think most of the other bosses will actually have something to say before you fight them. Most of them here don't do anything like that. I need to... I took a lot of damage there, and that was a bad place for them to spawn, so I'm going to do that just to save some time. You can jump up and save some frames if you have the life to spare. Now we're on to the end game. At all, I surrender. I like hearing that from the king for some reason. Makes you feel powerful.
I have been foolish. Why Why did I believe the words of Merlin? That devil! His only purpose was to return his master Demonicus to this world. Soon after Demonicus was revived, hideous monsters overran my beautiful castle. I am lost. My kingdom is falling into chaos and ruin. You must save me. The only hope left is in the power of the 4 statues. You must act quickly. Take them to the realm of Demonicus and seal him away with their power. Here, take this idol. Its power will aid you and help you to enter into the land of Demonicus.
At least he recognizes all of this is his fault, if nothing else.
I am responsible for many evil acts. Now it's time to make up for my past and try to correct my errors. Can my people forgive me?
There's a severe flashing warning coming up in this cutscene, the worst in the game. It's not long, but they overdid it here.
Adolf, I'm glad you are safe.
Whosoever tries to interfere with my return will suffer dearly. Adol, how do you like this?
Even on CRT, that's harsh.
Don't worry. She is not dead. Yet. If you want her to live, bring the 4 statues to my domain.
Elena survived so many monsters and probably fought a boss we didn't see. And that's how she falls. A lot of questions haven't been answered. What am I fighting for? Only now Adol experiences self-doubt because he failed to save one person after all that he did in East 1 and 2. I think this is their attempt at giving him character depth. And then East 4 comes around, which is a prequel to East 3. He accomplishes even more there.
What's wrong, Adol? Why the long face? You're a hero in these parts. Adol, where is Elena? Where is she? Adol, you're a fine warrior. Only the truly strongest of men know their own weaknesses. Adol, Mayor Grady may be able to help you save Elena.
If you say so. It's the first time, I think in his life, he failed to rescue a single person. Which is why he keeps asking about his own abilities. Might not need the Rosha serum, but that's just to be sure. Last shopping we're gonna do in this game. And we get our last quest. But listen to the way the mayor phrases it. It sounds ominous, and I don't think they intended for it to.
Adol, my boy, how can I thank you for all you've done? You had better give me those statues now. Your part is finished.
I do get it.
What? Surely someone must go, but whoever goes may not return alive. You are still young. There are many things you haven't learned, my boy.
Grady, let Adol go. He is not just a drifter. Adol is an adventurer. I'm sure he knows his life may be in danger, but there are some things that a man just can't back away from. You should have faith in Adol.
Adol, then take this with you. It will be helpful in your fight.
I'm not sure how old he is in this game. I think he's 17? Or 19. Because I know it takes place 2 years after East 2. Anyway, off to the final dungeon with my personal favorite music in the game.
Do we have time for a quick donation?
Yes, we do.
Continuum LXIX donated $5, simply saying vroom vroom. Thank you very much.
How many different companies localize the East games? Has to be like a dozen or so. And this is the only one that changes names. Says it's a heavy dead, we don't hear one. I love the synths in this coming up in a few seconds, and they give us this flashlight just for this one dungeon. I have no idea how it works. Try to work out the physics for it for yourself. This is the only visibility you get. Needless to say, these skeletons do a ton of damage on contact. So it's a pretty simple path. This is a maze. What you need to do is take this first elevator all the way down. You have to walk all the way to the end of the hallway before it starts going. And just let them walk into your sword. And then go down this shaft and hold left. Go down that hallway and then just straight path down to the next boss chamber. I'm not cool enough to do it without the fire jewel yet. I just wanted to show this is what they did to give you like visibility. Here's the next boss. Doesn't this place look familiar? This is from the beginning of the game. Another thing not explained is this guy again.
You may not go any farther. Prepare to die.
I think the most peculiar port of East 1 is on MS-DOS. That one I can't figure out. Immediately put on the protector ring. And then get this in 3 cycles. See how fast my ring went? And that's the last we'll see of that guy. I can get it in 2 cycles if I'm especially good with my button presses. Now you need to mass select. You also get no prize for finishing that. I didn't mass select fast enough. Okay. 127 ring power should be enough for the final boss. I took no damage. That's the only reason I did that, so I can speed through that fight. And I think it was before, were ad-lib cards even standard by the time MS-DOS East 1 was out? Oh, I guess they were. Here's another song we're not going to hear in full. Another minor flashing warning coming up, but it's very brief.
Welcome, Adolf. I admire your courage.
Demonicus, where is Elena?
Take a look right here.
You see the way Adolf scrolled away compared to Chester? Speaking of FPS.
Please, stay away!
Elena! Let Elena go! She has nothing to do with this! Take me instead!
What I need are those statues that Adolf has. I don't need you. Brother and sister dying together. What a nice image. All right, Adolf, see what happens to those who oppose me.
That was the flashing.
Demonicus, prepare to die! I will avenge all those who died by your hand!
Chester, don't! Why do you always turn to fighting? Why must there always be killing? Both you and Demonicus are living beings, with emotions and feelings. Why?
No, he ain't.
Elena, I know only too well. But this is the real world. If we don't kill him, he will kill us. If Demonicus is not killed, the human race may be destroyed.
I hope you are finished with your goodbyes. Because now it is time to die.
I love this line from Adol. If these two are hurt, you will never get them.
Crafty
Makes them sound all
boy,
brave and
aren't
stuff.
you? Step up onto the platform with the statues.
There is so much wrong in that dialogue just now. What was Chester planning to do if he's just on a floating rock without any access to Demonicus's form? This amulet? Save just because. Now for the final boss. Let's see if I can get it in one. And as has been mentioned, the whole every creature on Earth has emotions and feelings does not extend to Dark Lords that have been around for since time immemorial. Come on, not very bright, are you?
Now begins my reign over the world. As my first act, I will give you a taste of my true power.
Now, the floor is really unstable here. This would be a stage set for, oh, got to do this, really epic final confrontation, especially for 1989. I forgot to munch on that harp. This is what I do. I just corral him to the left and then just take the opportunity to do that. But once he stops, though, if you get hit by that electricity, you take 60% damage or so, and then just repeat. You only have to do this twice. And that's the Demonicus. Not time yet. I'll let you know when that'll be. So exactly what happened with the scrolling? No other console versions have the scrolling from the computer games.
My brother went to the center of the land of Demonicus. He is going to destroy all of it.
When did he get hurt? I didn't see.
No, Adolf, don't go. My brother says it's his fault, so he should be the one to deal with Demonicus.
Come on, dude.
Please, of course I care. We lived together for more than 17 years. I believe in my brother. I have faith. He will return. There is one thing I have to tell you. There is a legend in these parts that a long time ago, a brave young man locked Demonicus away. The village that my brother and I were born in was founded by the descendants of this brave man. King McGuire feared that his plans to bring back Demonicus would be in danger as long as these descendants lived. That is why he destroyed our village. My brother is the only one left who knows the secret that will crush the world of Demonicus. If Demonicus is to be put away for good, my brother must go.
You could have let us know that earlier.
All right, Adol, as long as you understand.
His whole motivation, you knew all this and you just didn't tell us until after the boss is dead?
Adol.
And this ritual also isn't explained. In the Super Nintendo version, they added an extra form to the boss that can only be broken with the flame sword. If you should, like, forget to collect it, you cannot damage the final boss at all. I learned that by experience. It soured me on trying to finish it at all, because I was not about to go back to all of Valentine Castle just to get that sword. Other versions will just give you an extra hard time if you don't have it, but at least it's winnable. Our time will be when I exit the town for the last time.
Should we really leave so soon? Yes, it is best. Adol, I have some final things to do before we leave. Why don't you go on ahead?
You know, just leave before anyone tells. I really like the sunrise effect here. It's a simple palette change, but it's so evocative. 'Cause that's what the PC Engine was good at. That's time.
You are really leaving, Ada. I wish you could stay. Where is Dogi? Aren't you leaving together?
Elena, are you sure? You'll never meet another fellow like Adel. Are you just going to let him go? If I don't leave now, I won't be able to catch up with Adel. Well, Elena, this is goodbye.
I'll let you know when we can transition to the next game. It's right before the next text scroll. But there's a few more scenes I think we should see first before I begin my next run. And thank you to everyone in chat. Thank you for the applause. Thank you for supporting Child's Play all this weekend.
What is there for you out there? You should stay here with us.
And just like tradition, he leaves. And those romantic interests he might have, he just leaves them all behind too.
Haven't you forgotten something? Adel, are you sure you shouldn't say goodbye to Elena?
What makes you so sure she'll understand? You barely talk to her. Okay, after the first part of this cutscene, we can change over to the next game. I just like this song. This specific version of this ending theme has not been in any soundtracks. Which is unfortunate because there's dialogue over it. I really like it. That's a good point. She can just go anywhere she wants. Remember this? You're supposed to remember. She just told you about it 5 minutes ago. And I don't know, I'm not sure who that's supposed to be. Remember this boss fight.
She's calling you. What are you going to do?
He had a lot to say in this game, but all he can do is wave back.
Oh, Adol, how can I ever thank you? I'll never forget what you've done. Your bravery, your kindness, your inspiration. Someday, Adol, someday, I know that I'll be able to see you again. Farewell, Adol.
I think as of East 10, that still has yet to happen. That's it for East 3, though. This has been The Opponent. Coming up next, I'm going to run Twinkle Star Sprites on the Neo Geo here at MAGFAST. Stay tuned.